I do want to talk about the future of the Republican Party because it seemed like at a Turning Point USA event over the weekend, I'm not sure if you caught it, but it seemed like there were some cracks, some fissures on display. Some have even questioned if it was a civil war brewing in the party. Ben Shapiro, during his speech, he called out some prominent figures by name, like Candace Owens, like Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson. And he also said that the conservative movement was in danger from, quote, charlatans who claim to speak in the name of principle, but actually traffic in conspiracism and dishonesty. And Vice President J.D. Vance, though, when he was on stage, he said that he didn't bring a list of conservatives to denounce or to deplatform. And he said that there's more important work to be done, something to that effect, within the party. I'm curious, what do you make of all of that?
Well, as someone who works for an organization called Principles First, I would say that I agree with the sentiment that a lot of these people aren't principled at all. And I don't find myself often agreeing with Shapiro, but I will say I think that he was right on the mark here. I actually disagree with him for the most part, but I think even a broken clock is right twice a day. And so in this moment, I think what we see part of that Republican side of the party, I'll even go maybe as far as to call it alt-right, though they wouldn't want to call themselves that, is that it's a house of cards. It's crumbling. It truly is. And I think that we should be keeping an eye on that, because that infighting, it just shows a fracture. And it's not just TPUSA and sort of that sector. It's what we see happening within the administration itself. I think that's sort of just a microcosm of what's happening broader. Who is the heir apparent? Who is going to be the person to run in 2028? If Erica Kirk has any say in it, it's going to be JD Vance. But we also see that a lot of people who are part of the MAGA movement not necessarily fully embrace him. And so though they can say that this early on, I don't know that he is going to be the one to receive that nomination. And if he doesn't, what does that mean for all of the TPUSA folks? Do they go elsewhere? Do they support whoever the nominee is? Traditionally, you kind of suck it up and you support whoever the nominee is, but we're kind of in our uncharted territory here. So I'm not sure.
And to that point, when it comes to 2028 polling by name, JD Vance is by far and away the front runner when it comes for the GOP presidential nomination. However, an Emerson College poll had some statistics saying that more people want a moderate Republican and a moderate Democrat. Do you think that there's going to be appetite for some MAGA leader like JD Vance in 2 or 3 years when we have a few more Trump years under our belt? Or do you think people are going to be yearning for more moderation in our politics?
I think the pendulum always swings. So, we had Obama back then, and people thought that was too left. Then we got a Trump who was very right, and then we got a Joe Biden who I'd say is traditionally more of a moderate Dem, though he was acquiescing to, I think, some of the extremism on the left. Now we've gotten Trump again. So I wouldn't be surprised if it swings either back to the left or more in the middle. I think we've seen, like when we talk about Democrats again, some who are kind of known for being more liberal, trying to moderate themselves more. And when it comes to whether it's a Democrat or a Republican, you don't really see that moderation as much until you've secured the nomination. And then you have to appeal not just to your voters, but to all voters. So I hope, because this is where I live, we have a more moderate government next time around. And that's also not just my opinion. You just share some statistics, and the truth of the matter is that more people live in the middle than we want to talk about, or that we talk about, but it's those extremes on either side who suck all the oxygen out of the room. And that's the people who are sexier to talk about than just people who want to get stuff done. Apparently that's not wanting to work together in a bipartisan fashion to get some legislation to help the American people. That's boring. But the infighting on either side, that's what people want to hear, unfortunately.